everybody, and welcome to the 2025 FAI Futsal Cup Final between Blue Magic and Pro Brazil, live from the National Indoor Arena, Abbottstown. I'm Stephen Finn, and joining me on commentary today is Oisin Fogarty from St. Etis. Oisin, what a great final we have to look forward to today.
Yeah, very exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Two good teams. Obviously, Blue Magic hot favourites, and they've been setting the standards in the country the last couple of years, so I'm excited to see how we get on today.
Excellent. So before we go any further, let's have a look at the teams. Blue Magic, number 1 is Guilherme de Souza Cardozo. Number 3 is Jonathan Beraldo de Brito. Number 9, Mateus Menati. Number 10, Victor Calderon. Number 16, Gabriel Jan Mikowski Lucas. That's the starting 5. Their bench players, 2, Tadas Bezica. 4, Iago Casio Rodriguez Marabetsi. 5 is Neboya Jokic. 6 is Mateus Costa Coelho. Number 7 is Ian Byrne, the captain. Number 8 is Gabriel Saldana. Number 11, Leonardis Mateus. Number 13, Gustavo Padilla da Brida. Number 14 is Arcadius Bogdaniuk. And for Pro Brazil, we have starting 5. Number 1, Marlon Lopez Vitorino. Number 9, Reynan Batakin Leon. Number 10, Jose Andro da Silva Cruz. Number 12, Dreyleson Felipe de Souza. Number 19, Fred Villan de Oliveira Santos. And on their bench, they have 2, Vinicius. 4, Miguel Manea. 5 is Wemerson Moutinho dos Santos. 6 is Artur Vinicius Menezes Salgado. 7 is Johnny Lel Cacalvade. Number 8 is Davi Lima. 13 is Aleph Souza Pinto. 15 is Lucas De Rey. 20 is Guilherme Tardelli Tadush. First referee is Robert Byrne. Second referee Alan Patchell. Third referee Ricardo Santos. And the timekeeper is James Keating. The teams will soon be entering the arena. What kind of game are you expecting today, Oisin?
High paced, I think. I was quite excited to see, in fairness, Pro Brazil, they went at Blue Magic in the league final, and they went with a bit of a high press, which is not something that in the league the last couple of years the Blue Magic would have been overly used to because they've been so dominant. So I think it'd be a fast-paced, exciting game, and I'll be intrigued to see how it falls out on the bigger pitch. And for Blue Magic, as I said, it's been a while since they've been tested.
Very good. And the coaches, the Blue Magic head coach is Sinisa Sikar, and the Pro Brazil Futsal Club head coach is Martin Perciavalle. And those two know each other very well because they worked together with Saints and Scholars before Sinisa came over to Blue Magic.
Yeah, and they've done a lot of their coach education together as well. They would have gone away together for the UEFA B, and of course they delivered an awful lot of the coach education in Ireland since they've been back, and helped push that forward, which has been great. I know I've been very grateful myself to get the FAIC licence, which is not ran too many times, but the wealth of knowledge coming into the country there has been brilliant, thanks to and the route that they've taken. Brilliant.
And I spoke to Martin. I was joking that was he the Bobby Robson to Sinisa's Mourinho, having worked together for so long, but he did say that the two of them are very good friends still.
Yeah.
Work together, and like most people in futsal, we all work together because we want to see the game grow.
Yeah.
And okay, people always want to win when they play against each other, but ultimately our goal is to grow the game in Ireland.
Yeah, which I'd love to see. The opportunities that are there for the sport and for people getting involved in the sport are huge. Even our own club the last couple of years, getting away abroad to play in Austria, etc. Like, the lads can see the level that it's something they can reach, and it's another player path for them if we can grow the sport in the country. While you do have your professional leagues in Spain, Portugal, etc., there's a level of futsal there that is very, very attainable and of a very high level. So it'd be great if we could grow it here again, just even to provide another player pathway for lads in the country.
Yeah, and like for Blue Magic, obviously they've 7 titles now, and when they started, maybe, I don't know, more than 10 years ago, they were obviously very close, and at that stage we had teams like Eden College. I was obviously involved with Shamrock Rovers at that stage. We've obviously got Real Transylvania. Yourselves in St. E is still producing players, still competing. But Blue Magic have kind of kicked on to another level, and their team has evolved, hasn't it?
Yeah, massively, and it's not the same squad there. It's been a squad there together for the last couple of years, but it's massively different to when they started out in the league, and they've grown so well. In fairness to them, it's a unique situation in the country for such a small league, and I think people realise the level that we have in it as well. Like, Blue Magic have beaten the English champions in their UEFA group the last couple of years. They've beaten the champions of Scotland, Wales. They beat the champions of last year's champions of England in a pre-season friendly before they went away to their qualifying group last year. And I know they've played one or two international teams in friendlies and they've come out the better side of those as well. So even though we've quite a small league, the level that Blue Magic are setting is very, very high, and I know they've been unlucky not to get through the first qualifying stage of UEFA in a couple of years, just needed a draw or a goal here or there. So yeah, they've really chugged on and like I said, taken the level of the sport up a notch in the country, which has been brilliant.
Yeah, in 2023, that was probably the best year. They won 5-0 against Bloomsbury, the English champions. They drew 2-2 with Nistru Kishinev, the Moldovan team.
Yeah.
And then they were so unlucky. They lost 7-2 against Dukas, the hosts from Greece. But I was talking to Adam Kovacic on the bench there, and he was telling me that at a UEFA conference there, he was talking to people from Sporting Lisbon and Benfica, and they were saying, "Oh, we watched your game. We know how close you were." So around Europe, even though we have a small league here, people respect the Irish champions now.
Yeah. And I think as well they were unlucky at that time because I know one or two of the players from that Greek team went on to much higher level of futsal after that and ended up playing professional futsal in one for Spain and one for Portugal. So they were extremely unlucky with that one. But again, changing Irish people's mindsets with regards to futsal sometimes because we're so used to 11-a-side. 11-a-side 7-2 in futsal is not 7-2 in 11-a-side. It's much more like a 3-1 or 2-1 in one sense. So it was a very unlucky result, but it's not as big a gap as people realise as well.
Yeah, and what's brilliant here, we're seeing in the crowd there, you might see it in the background in the camera there, there's a great crowd here today, and a lot of kids here who are in academies. Snisa runs academies around Dublin for children, and ultimately that's what we'd love to see is our kids playing futsal from childhood to adulthood. And if they want to play football, brilliant, but you should be able to play both.
Yeah.
And they'll be better for the experience, in my opinion.
I was quite lucky to be able to get to play futsal when I was younger in this country, when it wasn't really around that much, both between Derek O'Neill going out and doing the football to Salo camps out in St. Edith's back in the day, and then I was lucky to train with the visually impaired B2, B3 team, whose main sport was futsal. It's just to coach my underage team, was coaching them as well. And that's where I first came across, and I know it makes a huge difference to your composure, your decision making, your development as a youth player. And on top of that, like I said, there's some people that would excel in this sport more than they would in 11-a-side. I always kind of categorise it as three types of players. One that's good at both, one that's good at 11-a-side and not great at futsal, and one that's great at futsal, maybe not great in the bigger pitch. So again, if you're growing it, try to provide those more player pathways for ourselves.
Very good. Now the two teams are entering the arena, so we'll just hold a pause as the teams are out on the pitch, on the court, and we'll soon have the national anthem. And it's brilliant to see children coming out as mascots, and I hope the one that's in the arms of the Blue Magic number 8 is a mascot and not one of the players off the bench.
Please be upstanding for the national anthem.
Now, for those watching at home, the team in the all white is Blue Magic, and just to confuse anyone who expected Blue Magic to be wearing blue, and Pro Brazil Futsal Club are wearing the blue socks, blue shorts, and So it's a charcoal dark colour top. And the starting lineups again, well, in terms of the starting fives, Blue Magic number 1, goalkeeper Guillaume Viana de Souza Cardozo. Number 3 is Jonathan Beraldo de Brito. Number 9, Mateus Menati. Number 10 is Victor Calderon. And number 16, Gabriel Jan Mikoski Lucas. And Pro Brazil starting 5. Number 1 is Marlon Lopez Vitorino in goal. Number 9, Heynan Batagin Leon. 10, Jose Andro da Silva Cruz. 12, Drelison Felipe de Souza. And 19, Fred William de Oliveira Santos. If I call players by shortened names, you'll forgive me on that one. Actually, while we're here, he's not starting, but the captain of Blue Magic, Ian Bourne, he's literally been playing this game since it started in Ireland. He played in the underage, in the under 21 League of Ireland led FAI Futsal Cup originally, and it's hard to believe like it's more than 15 years now. And I was talking to somebody earlier on when the national team programme closed down in 2010, he had about 15 caps for Ireland. Yeah. If that programme had been kept alive, he probably would have nearly 300 caps at this stage. Yeah. What's your view of Ian as a player in the league for so long?
I suppose the frustration for me would be, the huge help would be to have that representative team to reward. You see like Northern Ireland now, like they have been rewarding the lads that give their time to the league and to futsal with the international caps. Obviously they have to be good enough, they have to make the grade, but you know, they're rewarding those that are invested in the sport. And I suppose, and you guys were involved with the actual international team when it was running at the time, to go from the only, what would you call it, the home nations country or teams to have a futsal team to now be the only one without. On the flip side of it is, you know, kind of frustrating, but yeah, for me, look, it would be a huge part of the development of the sport if we had it and we were able to run with it. You see the benefits of having Ian in the league last couple of years, the knowledge he gained from playing international, the knowledge he gained from playing international futsal has been brilliant, you know. So like, to be able to get that for more lads would be huge. And as I said, the way futsal is developing at the moment, yeah, you're not going to be going out against the Spains and the Portugals, but there's a huge chunk of countries in the same level or the same boat at the moment.
And also, you'd like to believe that soon we could see Irish guys earning contracts and making a career in the game.
Yeah.
Just a word on the refs as well. I know Alan has refed at UEFA level, and Robert has refed universities international tournaments. And that's another thing that people forget. Like, a huge amount of our League of Ireland refs were futsal refs.
Yeah.
And the guys who reached a seriously high level, I believe referees who embrace things like futsal sharpen their match control in football also.
But there's so much going on at a constant rate. I'd say that both for the referees and coaches. I kind of find it funny stepping back into doing an 11-a-side after doing futsal for so many years. You're always on the go and you have much more of an impact as a futsal coach. So when you step back into 11-a-side, you're more settled and you're
wishing for a timeout.
You're waiting for a timeout. Yeah, as you said. So it's like I think both from that side of the game, even for the, like I said, the referees, coaches, it's huge for the development of the sport, even in terms of 11-a-side as well.
Yeah, and just to let people know, the game will be running off a stop clock for 20 minutes, a half in the normal futsal rules. Yeah, just the final of the AUL final was an interesting game. Blue Magic totally dominated the first half, went 6-0 up, but then Pro Brazil won the second half, 2-0. And I spoke to Martin there, and he said, look, they had a frank conversation. They'd let in some disappointing goals. They didn't defend as they should. Yeah. Second half, they defended much better, and they really frustrated Blue Magic. So if they can take the second half performance into this game, we might have a really interesting battle today.
I'm intrigued at that one myself and seeing how it goes. I would say it has been a trend of Blue Magic this year. In general, they seem to take off in the first half. I know even in the semi-final, our second halves with St. Edith's version was much closer in the first half as well. So I don't know if they're just taking the foot off the pedal a wee bit because they know, this is the ultimate goal at the end of the season, or whether it's, a trend that's been happening in their game the last year or so.
Yeah, and just to remind people that the winners of the game today have the UEFA Futsal Champions League, it's called now, qualifiers to look forward to at the end of the summer. So it's a huge amount at stake, not just the cup.
No, except I think people, I don't know whether they can put people off the sport getting involved sometimes, or they don't realise the huge opportunities there. Go away, represent your country at club level. Yeah. I know we were one game away from it last year. It would have been huge for us, and that's the goal for ourselves as well. But it's something I wish more clubs would look at or reconsider as well. Yeah. So the quality is there in the country for it. Just getting more people into it.
Yeah. Okay, Pro Brazil are on the attack now. Jose Andro Cruz on the ball. When I spoke to Sinisa before the game, the Blue Magic coach, he said that first half domination is what he'd be looking for again today, and not let the concentration drop. Just like Martin was very happy with the second half in the AUL final, Sinisa was less happy with his guys.
Yeah, I see Pro Brazil are definitely have come out of the gates flying as well. They're not sitting back. A tendency of an awful lot of teams the last couple of years with Blue Magic to sit back low defensive because of how dominant they were. So Pro Brazil definitely being very positive in their outlook from the start here.
Kick in now, Jonathan Baraldo de Brito is on it. First shot in anger from number 10, Victor Calderon, and doesn't threaten the goal.
He would have a rocket of a shot. They always try to get him into the pockets for their set pieces. Him and Gabriel, their anchor.
Very good. You can see Blue Magic stepping right up into the half as well. They don't want Pro Brazil to get easy domination of the ball.
No, they're controlling that space.
Now just wide again. Vitor Calderon. Gabriel at the back. He seems to like to control the passing tempo.
Phenomenal player. Very, very good. He can dictate the game so well, and kind of defensively, very underrated regards to his dribbling skills. Lads tend to forget that he can go by very quickly and he'll slip in, but between that and the power he can generate in a shot, he'd be a very, very typical anchor, or the actual word fixo. That's Renan on the ball at the moment. Now Renan has great feet.
Yeah. Pro Brazil's keeper Marlon Lopez Vitorino. How big a game does he need to have today?
He's new to me as of this season. I've not seen him before, but I've been very impressed with what I've seen him in the league and in the warm-up here today.
Oh, here's a big chance here now. And
I think he can have.
Guillermo is out to clear.
You can have the best 4 players in the world in front of you, but if you don't have a strong keeper, it makes a huge difference in futsal. And that's something they've definitely strengthened him up on now with himself.
Here's an
Fred
opportunity. Well, free kick. First free kick of the game. Just to remember as well, there is a foul count. So if your team concedes 5 fouls, every foul after that is a double penalty. So discipline is absolutely critical in futsal. Another positive reason, I think, for players to embrace futsal, because they learn that, flying into tackles is grand, but if you give away a free, that's really dangerous. So another reason, in my opinion, to encourage young players to learn all about futsal.
I find it as a reward system as well, because if you encourage players to, they feel like they get to put that ball beyond the player, behind the player, and get after it. If they get the foul, they eventually build up to the free kicks, 10-metre free kicks, which are a huge bonus for your team, and it really forces your team to sit back defensively then as well. So again, kind of rewarding attacking play through that as well.
Now here is a corner for Pro Brazil. Fred is going to take it this is, again, if you're watching futsal, set pieces like this are a great opportunity to create a chance.
For Brazil doing very well, but what we'll see is the more Blue Magic get possession, the more they will start to dominate. They've been going through their systems the last 4 or 5 years. It's nearly like them playing a PlayStation game.
Yeah.
So the more that Pro Brazil can hold on to the ball themselves and disrupt, it'll be way more benefit to them.
Yeah.
But what I would expect to see is Blue Magic stay on the ball more. They'll just start to wear down.
And Blue Magic now started to bring on players. Gabriel Saldana came on there now. So again, the quality of the players on your bench are going to have a big impact over the course of the game, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh.
Big chance now, and there's our first goal
of the game.
Vitor Calderon. Just almost 4 minutes into the game. Very good individual play, and just shows you if you don't get that tackle in and around the box, unfortunately, you could end up with it back here now.
And centre of the pitch is so important in terms of any futsal shape. And the teams differ between showing a player in there and then hitting them hard in the tackle or keeping them to the wings. But if you don't dominate in one of those two ways, unfortunately, it leads to goals. And it probably came inside too easy there across the centre.
Yeah. Now this is a test for Pro Brazil. They're going to have to try and make sure that this doesn't get away from them. Just keep control of the game.
Yeah.
And they've made a couple of changes now. They've brought on
fresh legs.
Miguel, number 4 there, and John
number 7.
Cavalcante, number 7's also come on, and number 13 Aleph Souza Pinto is on. So definitely trying to freshen it up, and also Davi Lima, number 8. So all of their outfield 4 have come on now.
If they want to challenge over the full game, they'll need to keep the rotations high. And again, from an Irish perspective, something people need to get used to. Sometimes is you might be on for 2 or 3 minutes of high level and getting off. It's about quick rotations.
Yeah.
Where the tendency with 11-a-side players is to try to stay on as long as possible.
Now, kick in from the side is a real chance for a set piece. It's not the same as a corner, but the angle is also different. And Sneesa says he likes the bigger pitch creates different angles.
The Magic are very, very, very dominant on their set pieces. Cena does a lot of work in them, and very simple but clever things that he implements between offsetting players and using the block as a distraction rather than the actual block.
So Bosa Jokic takes the kick in and then he tries to get a shot away, but it's blocked down well. Very good hold-up play there by Leonardo Mateus. You can see having that front man that can really hold on to the ball has a massive impact.
Yeah, traditionally Blue Magic would have played a 3-1 shape with it, that pivot up front as they call that holding man in futsal. They can drift into a bit of a flat 4 or offset 2-2. I'm not sure if they do that on purpose or just they dominate so much that it tends to happen because they're in attack mode so much.
Here's Leonardis again. Shot. Jokic shot there, almost spilled through the hands of Marlon, but thankfully he managed to get hold of it.
Number 4 is after coming off for Blue Magic. Ian Burns after coming onto the pitch as well.
Very good. Yeah, Ian in the AUL final, not surprisingly, scored a couple of key goals. And when the games are tight, he's generally the fella who'll get that shot away. Yeah.
I said well experienced at this stage, you know, and that experience matters so much in the sport.
Just have a player down getting treatment at the moment.
Probably another positive again with the sport that people tend not to realise. Probably more longevity in it for players. You look at some of the top teams in Europe, Barcelona, like a lot of their players will be 38, 39 when they're playing high-level professional sport, because it's different to 11-a-side, it's a different tempo. You can have a much longer career in it than traditionally in 11-a-side as well. So
yeah, because if you're feeling the burn, you can step out, recharge, and come back in.
Yeah.
And like we would always say when you're coaching, if you're on for 1 minute, make it the best minute that you can have. And in futsal, that actually does happen. Guys who are brought on when they stop, especially games with stop clocks, teams are chasing a goal. They might play a fly keeper, and that fly keeper, that might be his only involvement in the whole match. But because he's a specialist, he's in and he has to play. Or
sort of like the kicker in American football, I find. It's like you said, you have specialities within the squad as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting the different approaches to futsal around the world. Some countries would specialise an awful lot more on the positions rather than the tactics.
Yeah.
I know 1 or 2 Brazilian lads were a squad last year, and it was interesting. They would have learned more about, they were a winger or they were a pivot or a fixo, and they knew what to do in those roles, and less about the team tactics. They're obviously not all Brazilians, but that was the approach of the 2 lads and the region they came from.
Yeah. Here we go now.
Ooh, really turning up the
Leonardo
tempo here now, Blue
Mateus
Magic.
clicking again in Burns. Oh, great save
great
there
from the
by
keeper.
Vitorino. You see Ian Bourne, the low strikes with the toe pokes causes a huge amount of danger. The keeper did really well there. I think Gabriel Saldana, number 8, is having a big impact as well now.
Ooh.
You see Ian Bourne there again. Okay, he's predominantly left-footed, but he has that ability to just drift past people.
And look, with a toe poke as well, if you get down the wing on your weaker foot, using a toe poke with your strong foot across goal, if you're playing futsal for a few years, you get good at controlling the direction of it. It's as effective as shooting well with your weaker foot.
I know, and we've all heard the kid in the schoolyard who got given out for using his toe.
Yeah.
And then anybody who played futsal is using their toe at 5-side, and everyone thinks he's gone mad.
There was 2 things when I started playing futsal. I was always laughed. Oh, we're on a break here.
Yeah, good break for Pro Brazil. Good strike. That was a decent effort from number 9 there.
That was Renan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Renan's obviously an experienced player.
He is, yeah. Ooh. Very good player. Very good ball at his feet.
It was a shot on target for them at least, and I suppose if you're the underdog in any game, missing the target just can't happen. You got to force a save at the very least.
Yeah. It was the English FA were doing workshops on futsal coaching there over the last couple of weeks, and they wanted shooting. And it was interesting to see, like, they were dictating that basically even the top teams need about 40 shots at goal with a percentage of about 50% on target if you want to win games.
Yeah.
So shooting effectively as much as possible. If you're not going to shoot, you're not going to score.
Yeah.
Especially even more so in futsal.
Brennan's robbed. Here's a big chance now.
Oh,
very brave.
Oh, very brave from the keeper.
Yeah. Guillermo Viana de Santos Cardoso, definitely, you could see his face took a bit of that.
From the knee,
incredibly
I think,
brave. Yeah. It wasn't a foul in the sense of making it was an honest attempt to win the ball.
Yeah.
But the keeper was incredibly brave there.
He's been one of the outstanding keepers in the league the last couple of years. And their second keeper, Tadas, I might have pronounced that wrong, but he's a fabulous keeper as well, young keeper. I know he's gone away recently. I think he lives out in Lust, but he's gone away with the Lithuanian international team, youth team in futsal there recently as well. So again, potentially more opportunities like that coming from for playing in the league.
Good break there from number 3 from Pro Brazil.
Jump press.
Good hold up there, number 20, Guillermo
Yeah.
Tardelli touch. Look, we saw this in the FA Cup final where Crystal Palace beats Man City with hardly any possession. It's not the end of the world for Pro Brazil if Blue Magic have a lot of possession, if they're not scoring goals. And as we stand, it's only 1-0.
I'd say the one thing to be disappointed with is, I don't know, it was the same with ourselves in the final last year, was letting the goal in early, because it does dictate a bit how you have to play against Blue Magic after that. It definitely plays to the Blue Magic's strength, but they've settled themselves down well, and the difference, I suppose, last year we let the one in, there was 2 more directly after it. They've not conceded another 1 or 2 in quick succession, so they're able to start dictating how they're playing the game again. I might have spoken too early there.
Yeah, Blue Magic managed to see out the danger, and now they're on their own counter now.
Yeah. Oh, unlucky, just shaved the edge of the post.
That's long distance shooting you were talking about?
Yeah. Oh, he can rocket them. Unfortunately, being in between 1 or 2 of them in my time.
Still feels sticky.
Yeah. I still kind of flinch when he kicks it, to be honest.
Yeah, and obviously if you're watching and you're seeing a lot of different coloured lines, it's the black lines that are our sideline, as you can see now with the kick in.
It's a fabulous venue, but it's a shame that there's no, between 3 sports, between indoor hockey, handball and ourselves, there's no just one outlined pitch. We did have one out in Ballymun. Unfortunately, it's no longer in use.
Yeah, and look, that's the thing. I know some of those other sports, as you mentioned, volleyball in particular, netball as well. Any of those sports, there's a real similarity to the rules indoor hockey.
Yeah.
As in the pitch dimensions, you know, if we can get that investment in facilities, helps, because facilities is probably being the biggest challenge for futsal because of the cost involved.
Yeah, for sure. Even you look at this.
Great ball now. Here's an opportunity. Great
good save.
Arthur Vinicius Salgado had a super chance there. Great pass, played him through, and a brilliant save by the keeper, VM.
Like it's facilities. Like you see, this is a full-size futsal pitch, but to get it, you're on the volley, hard luck. You could be paying £300-400 for this for one game.
Yeah, and that's tragically prohibitive.
Even I have a friend of mine that plays on my team. He's from Spain. And he was showing me when he goes home at Christmas, they rent a court for €40. It's a full-size futsal pitch with extra space on the side for warm-up, and that's just the difference, unfortunately. And that's because, again, they prioritise the Olympic handball, the indoor hockey. You know, they're much bigger on the continent than here. Oh,
good
corner.
Shot there, Lucas De Rey.
Pro Brazil are showing their danger in the counter-attack, which, you know, Blue Magic can't be too confident in their attacking as a result.
There's a corner here. Pro Brazil. Oh. There, ball bouncing around. Keeper dealt with it, but there's the little opportunities. You know, it's probably they'll take a scrappy goal as well as a beautiful one. Now here's a chance. This is a big opportunity.
Oh, good defend and recovery run.
And then, we had 2 or 3 shots coming in there. Great defensive player initially by Arthur Salgado for Pro Brazil, but then his clearance didn't quite go where he wanted it.
No. We're halfway through that first half now. It's still 1-0. That's a good showing so far. I think the Magic themselves would normally hope to be up 3-4 by now.
Yeah. Pro Brazil's defending has been absolutely really good, really concentrated. Vitor Calderon's coming deep again. He obviously the man who opened the scoring in the game.
Oh, simple ball.
Jukic is in, sets it up Calderon, 2-0.
2-0. Again, I spoke too soon. I'm probably jinxing him here at the moment.
Yeah, Calderon, great finish, but great play as well by Naboisa Jokic on the wing, dispossessing the Pro Brazil player, and creates a simple chance.
Yeah, against Blue Magic, you have to be keyed into what you're doing at the right parts of the pitch. You normally break it into thirds, and in that third, you're looking to play out 1-2 touch max. That's what Blue Magic can do to you with their press, unfortunately. You have the starting 4 back on for Pro Brazil now.
Yeah.
Go on, Renan, well done.
Yeah, like they've definitely the team that started was very strong, very disciplined, but hopefully they won't let the scoreline impact on their play, because you know, if they just keep calm, not situations like this, serious problem. Big let away there. Gabriel probably kicking himself. He didn't score there.
One. Yeah.
I would hope that Pro Brazil might just calm down a little bit now.
And again, that potential weakness we're talking about there, fortunately, one of Blue Magic's strengths. They have 3 blocks of 4. You know, and even their, you know, what you would say maybe the so-called weakest 4 would be quite, you know, strong and dominant on the pitch. And they've years playing together, working that system now. Ooh.
There you go, Gabriel again from that kick in on the side. He just pops off and gets the shot away, not even looking really.
No.
Now,
again, their set pieces are very, very good, and he'll always be either in the pocket that, you know, they're trying to hide, or he'll sit deep here looking for that long shot. And again, himself and number 10 can really fire a shot off rocket. You know, they're the ones they're always trying to get on the ball realistically, or they're, you know, they're shifting the play.
What would you be saying now in your timeout? Obviously, for Blue Magic, they're in control of the game. Pro Brazil probably have the ones to do the biggest reaction.
I'd say not to react too much. This is probably same stage my own team was at last year, and they started trying to fix everything at once and just creating more spaces and more opportunities for Blue Magic to nick the ball. They were going to try to get a ball, you know, get a goal back, but not in a structured way, and they just left themselves way more open. You know, it's 2-0 now. They've been doing well. Keep playing and sticking to their style now consistently throughout the half, rather than trying to overthink or overplay anything.
Yeah. There's 8 minutes and 51 seconds left in the first half with the stop clock, obviously. So it's not something that they need to start worrying that the game's escaped them.
No. And again, futsal, completely different sport. Now, before Blue Magic were what they were now, I remember played a game against them years ago, and we were 6-3 down, 4 minutes left. We ended up drawn. You know, stop clock makes a huge difference in the game. And even though it's 20 minutes a half, like I've been involved in games that have gone on for an hour and a half in total, you know, depending on the side of the other team that you're playing.
Yeah, and the bigger pitch tends to see those moments of the ball going out of play. Takes a little bit longer to get a restart.
Yeah. Or if a team plays, I've played against some teams, that's definitely a corner, yeah. I've played against some teams in the past that played a fly keeper. They're probably not good enough to do it. They can't move it quick enough, and they end up just keeping the ball in possession for 4 or 5 minutes, wearing down the clock, which suits the other defensive team more so. There's very few teams that can do it at the tempo needed to actually make it effective. And it's still a huge risk doing it.
Another corner set piece opportunity. I'd imagine Gabriel might end up on the end of this. No surprise. Good defending to block him out. Here's a chance now on the counter
And
attack.
on the break, I can see a
Can
foul
Pro Brazil
coming.
score?
Oh,
again.
phenomenal save by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he kept his composure. It was a great opportunity. Now again, Pro Brazil, a great counter, very unlucky, and then they've spilled the ball up from the kick kick in. They need to just calm down in these excitable moments.
Again, that's probably the difference most teams have through like 6 years in finals now. They've gotten all that kind of stuff out of their system.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Viago was on number 4, number 13, Gustavo. Nice little ball in there.
Oh, confusion in the movement. I see Pro Brazil going to try finish out the half with the fly keeper, or the power play as it's called.
Yeah, just on that. So if you see a guy running around in a blue jersey wondering what's going on, he's playing as a fly keeper. So what they're trying to do is essentially he has to be in the opposition half before he can receive the ball. We've seen this impacted in GAA recently with the goalkeepers coming out. They must have been inspired by futsal.
I can only imagine. They haven't definitely not tactic in the 11 side. But it's an interesting one. I don't know myself at this stage in the game. You know, I would have said maybe see out the half with the 2 goals. You know, you could go another 3 or 4 purely by luck here, even if they are playing well. It's just a simple kick through and goal if Blue Magic nick it.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the opportunity now. And nobody minding the goal. So this is the risk that you take when you play the fly keeper. It gives you a chance to get an overload, maybe pin in the opposition, create a goal scoring situation. But if you don't take it, suddenly you could be defending. And now you see Jose Andro, he's decided, okay, the risk is not worth here. They have them pinned in at the set piece.
Yeah.
Number 4 is standing over Miguel Manea. He's I think he scored 2 goals in the
very good
in the AUL final.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting tactic to use. I know sometimes culturally some countries, it's their opinion is used in small doses rather than large. I know, can't remember what the name of the club was over in Spain, but they got in huge trouble when they played against Inter Movistar. They just done it for the majority of the game, and I know not a rule that you can't, but maybe kind of culturally it was deemed not great, and I know the manager stepped back as a result of it. But
when we were with the Irish team when we started, we played in a UEFA under-19 futsal tournament, and it was brilliant. But Andorra, believe it or not, used their actual goalkeeper like a fly. He played like a fly, and he scored in the game. Yeah. He had an unbelievable shot on him, a bit like Gabriel. So if you got the opposition pinned in, having a goalkeeper who can do both is actually it's almost even better than having a
fly goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it'll depend on the keepers that you have. Some will have specialists. If you're lucky enough that you can have a keeper and go fly for years. Now we nicked him from handball. He was an unbelievable goalkeeper, Robert Vaughan.
Yeah, he was top shot stopper.
Shot stopper was unbelievable, but he wasn't shy of counter-attacking in play, and it was great. You know, he would keep it simple. He would just wait till that first attacker and play it off. And I know we got numerous goals from that, so it can be a huge advantage.
Yeah. So Pro Brazil have using the fly really. It's given them the opportunity to pin Blue Magic back. So I can see why the tactic has been employed. But the risk is incredibly high. Yeah. There's literally nobody protecting their goal if this goes wrong.
And typically teams, I think it's much easier for a team to be, good at the defensive, an average team to be good at the defensive side of this than it is for an average team to be good at the attacking side.
Yeah.
So again, it is a risk because
here's Miguel again.
It just takes one nick of the ball and it's straight through and goal.
Yeah. So now here's the problem.
Now I'm intrigued by Blue Magic's.
There's a yellow card here. Victor Calderon. Again, first yellow.
Against number 10?
Number 10, Vitor Calderon, he got a yellow. It happened right below us, so I'm not 100% sure what the challenge actually was. I was looking at the counter at that moment. You were saying Blue Magic have an interesting
They seem
dilemma.
to be 3 with a 1 in front rather than the traditional 1-3 for their defensive shape with this, which I don't know, leaves an awful lot of space in the pockets in the wings for a shot. Now it could be the way the game was playing out there, but as I said, they seem to be kind of doing their own unique style with it. They're keeping the fly keeper up for this free kick now.
Yeah. Davy Lima, number 8, is on the ball here. Miguel is
They're in
outside
more of a
him.
2-2 now.
See
Yeah.
Andre as the fly keeper in the central area. Out on the far side, you have Guillermo Tardelli.
Yeah. It's a delicate shape to do. You see, a lot of people have 2 jobs. Ian's job now
Tardelli's
to
on
get
it
back
now.
in, provide support.
There's a
in
great
here.
shot.
Oh, unlucky.
That was probably the biggest opportunity. Miguel got in there maybe a half second too early.
Yeah.
Not his fault, obviously. He was right to follow it up. But that just shows you that the tactic very, very nearly worked. And now Marlon is back a goal down the far end. Marlon Lopez Vitorino. So it's interesting. The big court leaves that opportunity to do this. Oh, great chance there.
Yeah.
Mateus Manati had a big chance.
Ian Byrne with the opportunity for a one-on-one now.
Yeah, Blue Magic just shows you like 10 seconds down the other end of the pitch, Pro Brazil very nearly gets back in the game. Suddenly at the other end of the pitch, they're grateful to Vitorino to save, to deny Mateus Manati.
As a game, you have to be constantly switched on, both sides of your game, attacking and defensive.
Yeah, with 4.5 minutes left in the first half. And it's still 2-0 to Blue Magic. Both goals by Calderon. So far, so good for the refs. They haven't really had anything controversial to deal with.
No. I 3 very, very experienced refs on the sideline there.
Oh, here's a big chance now.
Don't know about that.
I don't know about that one. I think Guillermo Tardelli was probably hoping for that free.
I would say hoping, very much hoping.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he should have stayed in his feet personally.
I thought he would have been at the advantage, even if he'd hoped a couple of seconds later, he might have got the free kick.
Yes.
As he would have been in a better body position. See there, that's they're sitting in that kind of 3-1 shape.
Yeah, interesting. Oh, I suppose they'd argue that so far we haven't had too many shots. Now here's a great chance. Oh, Tardelli's gone back.
Cam.
If he'd gone forward there, I think he was in.
Yeah.
And you see Miguel coming in again, the back post. I think as the Brazilians like to call it the second post.
Yeah.
So we'd call it the back post. That's where those chances are probably going to come in this game, especially when you're playing with the fly.
I watched Blue Magic a couple of years ago in a friend against an international team, and actually the main difference between the two of them was the back post, the second post, as you say. Like every time the ball went in back post, Blue Magic player was there. With regards to the international team, 1 out of every 3 times was there somebody at back post, and hugely important aspect of the game. As much as recovery runs or your defensive shape are, getting back post to support your player is huge.
Yeah. Miguel's taking this corner now. Oh, now this is where we have a big issue. There's an empty goal. Ian Burns tried a shot from distance.
Probably be disappointed with that one.
Yeah, we've seen Ian do that before.
That was interesting. I think Blue Magic are going to try cut out the fly keeper by staying with a high press, not give them the opportunity to advance up the pitch.
Yeah, and that's the interesting, great skill there, but
unbelievable.
Now they've lost it.
Great skill, great tackle. Once the team starts using it regularly, it's a hard one to kind of deal with, because even being good defensively, the more you sit, the more opportunity you're given for take a deflection, etc. So I can see why Blue Magic are starting to go with the high press, not giving them the opportunity to even get out of it,
Yeah.
out of the half with it.
And this is where those things that we see inside. Now this is a big opportunity on the counter. Miguel, here we go, back post. And it's in.
To goal!
Number 8, David Lima. As we were saying, making that run to the back post is always worth it, even if you don't get it. And it was actually great counter attack by Provinceville.
Unbelievable.
Wins it, plays it to Dardelli and goes back post, and David Lima slides in. Great game on here for sure. 2 minutes 23 seconds left in the first half, and it's now Blue Magic 2, Pro Brazil 1.
Okay, I say anybody watching at home starting to see the difference with the stop clock, still 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. I'd like to say that'd be a great way of ending the half for Pro Brazil, but there's still a wee bit to go.
Yeah, the way futsal is, there could be 3 goals in this time in 2.5 minutes. But isn't it excellent to see that Pro Brazil, after that little period where they were, I felt that they were probably a little bit too excited after they went 2-0 down.
Yeah.
They've settled. They came with a great plan. Brilliant by Martin to have Martin Percivali to have the bravery to try it, because as we saw when Ian had that counter, if it goes wrong, it's picking out an empty net. But it's been rewarded now. A great goal, great break, a great finish. Now there's a cheap free there. I suppose there's a third foul, third free won by Blue Magic. This is the other thing. You don't want to be giving away stupid frees as the clock ticks away.
No.
You give your opposition a free shot and you're going.
And again, you'll have specialists who take those 10 metres, and there's a very slim chance of actually saving them if you have one on your team, which Blue Magic have 2. I was intrigued with that free. I didn't see it fully, but it's always a hard line in the sport to tell the difference between kind of purposeful tackle and a block. You see, the blocks are allowed. I kind of maybe felt the Blue Magic player was coming into Renan a bit more there than the other way around.
Because he stuck his arm out, but you know, I wouldn't argue with it too much personally.
No.
But and obviously, experienced futsal players know how to make
use
the
their
most
body.
out of an opportunity to win those frees. Marlon Lopez Vitorino in goal for Pro Brazil. He's trying to get the boys to calm down.
Yeah.
Like, to win, if they went in a half-time 2-1 down, I think they'd be more than
I think they'd be very happy, especially with them having scored the last goal of the half.
Yeah. Like, again, if you're not someone who's watched a lot of futsal, what you'll notice is players are under pressure in a very tight area, and on a
regular
11-a-size pitch, they're hard to be beaten like mad, and everyone will be screaming at them to pass it. Nobody's screaming at anyone to pass it.
No.
They know the players are good enough to cope with the pressure and work their way out of it.
And the more you go on, the more you get into the sport, the more it actually comes about, like, you know, the sign of kind of weaknesses, getting rid of the ball too quick. You want to be able to control that ball. And I don't mean it's an 11-a-side sense, be comfortable in a 1v1 situation in terms of going by players, but being comfortable in a 1v1 situation, whether you're going by them or not, just being able to hold on to that ball and move and dictate the play.
Another set piece opportunity for Blue Magic. Number 3, Jonathan Beraldo.
47 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah. Clock is ticking. Will there be another opportunity?
Opportunity here for Blue Magic.
Good
save.
shot. Number 4 from Iago. Good save from Vitorino in goal. 4 seconds left on the stop clock.
Bodies on the line here from Pro Brazil, making sure they're
Johnson's
keeping
shot
it out.
was on its way. Great bravery. Number 15, Lucas DeRay from Pro Brazil, putting his body on the line. That's what it'll take to get through this game. This is the opportunity now. Another one. Will they get a shot?
Renan again. Hard look.
He ran out of pitch there, unfortunately. 24 seconds left. Blue Magic on the attack. Pro Brazil defend well enough. Now they have a sideline ball. 13 seconds until half time. Will they try and get a shot, or will they just try and keep the game in the opposition half? Here is a chance. Keeper again,
Very
has done
calm
very
and
well.
composed by the keeper, and we're down the other end.
This is the thing, we are a counter attack.
Oh, handball. Oh, get rid of the ball.
Just shows you Pro Brazil with 13 seconds left.
Being
Thought they were going to
brave, yeah.
score, and then might have ended up going in a 3-1. The way that opportunity ended there, number 11, Leonardo Mateus, just blocked out. So at half time, it is 2-1, Blue Magic leads against Pro Brazil. 2 early goals from Vitor Calderon for Blue Magic, and then Davi Lima pulled the one back with 5 minutes to go before half time for Pro Brazil. We're going to take a break for half time and join myself and Oisin Fogarty from St. D's Futsal Club for the second half of what has been a really good game so far. Every time he gets the ball, it just picture up on Take picture of me. Fix the mics just for posterity. Okay, hey everybody, we're now ready for the second half of the FAI Futsal Cup Final here at the Sport Ireland Arena. I'm Stephen Finn and I'm joined by Oisín. It's 2-1 to Blue Magic after a cracking first half, really intriguing tactical battle. 2 goals from Vitor Calderon put Blue Magic ahead, and a goal by Davi Lima pulled Pro Brazil back into the game. Oisín, what are we expecting in the second half?
I'm expecting to see maybe Blue Magic up in their tempo a wee bit in terms of their set plays. I'm probably intrigued to see. I think Pro Brazil have done incredibly well. It's great to see the game so tight by half time. It's not something that Blue Magic will be used to. Hopefully maybe it might cause a bit of an upset, but I can imagine as the game goes on, as I said, Blue Magic have been working on systems for the last 4 or 5 years. That might be the defining factor as the game goes on, being able to wear the other team down.
Very good. Blue Magic's team for the second half, it looks like Guillermo's in goal, number 4, number 4, Iago's just left the pitch. Just to really take me out of my thunder. Number 1 is Guillermo in goal, and now we have Gabriel, number 16, is back on with number 9, Mateus Manati. We have number 10, Vitor Calderon, who got the 2 goals, and we also have number 8, Gabriel Saldana. That's their team for the start of the second half. Pro Brazil, Marlon Lopez Vitorino is back in goal again. With 19, Fred William de Oliveira Santos. He's back on as a starter. Number 12, Drailson Felipe de Souza. The starting number 9, Reynan Leon is. Looks like he might be changing his shoes, I don't know. And also number 10, Jose Andro da Silva Cruz. So the starting 5 is back on. And you would have noticed in the first half that Jose Andro da Silva Cruz played as a fly goalkeeper, which helped Pro Brazil get back in the game. But he's now just wearing an outfield jersey. So my assumption on that basis is that they're not going to play the fly until they feel they need to go back that direction again. Sometimes you hear that squeaky sound. Anyone who wears futsal shoes knows all about it. Lads are always trying to come up with ways to make the soles of their feet a bit more sticky. Things like pouring Coca-Cola on a piece of paper and stamping on it to try and get that little bit of stickiness.
Some sort of grip. I don't know what it is yet. I just know I've been on the receiving end of it. So it leaves a bit of a stain on the pitch.
Oh no!
I think it's a hand. I think maybe it might be a grip for people to play Olympic handball, but I've seen it used lately, and
the
nearly be stuck in spot with it. Yeah.
Okay, we're just about to start taking off. It's 20 minutes with a stop clock, but as we saw the first half, 20 minutes of a stop clock is actually quite a lot more of actual time. Even in that half, we were at 43 seconds, and I think the 43 seconds took 3 or 4 minutes to get to the end of, and with 13 seconds left.
It was definitely a long 43 seconds for Pro Brazil anyway, the way it ended.
Yes, indeed. So Reynan is ready to take the tip, and just waiting for the match officials to give us a green light. Number 1 ref, Robert Byrne, blows the whistle, and away we go.
That can be the disadvantage of a court like that with so many lines. In the rush of it, you can misplace where the sideline is for the important passes, unfortunately.
So the black lines are the key one to try and put your eye on. The goalkeeper's arc is the black line's fairly distinctive, thankfully, but it's the sideline ones probably seem to be a little bit more confusing. And the halfway line.
There's a lot going on around the halfway line.
There's a lot of halfway lines there, but it's definitely the black one. Corner, is it for Pro Brazil?
Corner for Pro Brazil.
Yeah, Drailson's ball in got deflected out. So again, these set pieces are really important. If Pro Brazil are going to get in the game, they need to make maximum use of these. Oh! There we go, set piece worked. Fred lays it off, and it's smashed in by Reynan. I don't think we even saw that one coming.
No.
2-2.
And Pro Brazil will be taking great hope from this. And it's a position that Blue Magic are not too used to being in the last couple of years. It'll be interesting to see how they deal with it now.
Absolutely, a great finish by Reynan. Low strike was left foot under the keeper's body. Certainly a fantastic final so far.
Yeah. Like I said, the energy that Pro Brazil have brought to the game has been brilliant.
Well, what we remember from the AUL Futsal Cup final was that Blue Magic had totally dominated the first half, but Pro Brazil dominated the second half. So that will give them a little bit of hope that they can go out and maybe win this game and make a bit of history. Blue Magic looking to get an 8th FAI Futsal Cup.
And a 6-1 in a row.
Good individual play. Mateus Manati turns his man, slams in the bottom corner, and it's 3-2 to Blue Magic. Pro Brazil will really be disappointed.
Yeah.
They had really got a sense of momentum, and in a flash, a fantastic finish by Mateus Manati, and it's 3-2 to Blue Magic.
I say their frustration probably lying. They're actually handling the set plays and the rotations of Blue Magic very well. It's in these individual moments that they're losing out as opposed to being swamped by the tactical side of Blue Magic. So that was an easy turn in on goal for them there.
Yeah, and when people think of the individual skills of futsal, like obviously we see all the YouTube clips and TikToks of players doing incredible things in futsal. Ricardinho being an obvious one, or Falcao back in the day, and some of the brilliant players that are in the game now. But it's that moment when you see a guy beating a guy one-on-one and smashing the shot away.
Yeah.
That's what we want all of our players to have it in their locker.
And be comfortable doing, have the confidence to go do it, back themselves doing it. Interesting. Blue Magic have gone for the power play as well here now.
Yeah, this is interesting now. And also interesting in the AOL final, Blue Magic did this a lot and didn't really turn it into as many chances as they would have thought. Yellow card here now. Mateus Manati. It was one of those typical clever fouls because he didn't want the counter-attack to
shot
happen.
happening. Again, an interesting stage for them to try to do it in the game. And it's something typically I would not have seen Blue Magic do the last couple of years. So I don't know, maybe it's one thing they haven't practiced too much, or
I wonder if it's a case of trying to almost grab the initiative and not let Pro Brazil come back into the game by doing it themselves.
Running on the ball again. Second time on Renan now. I wonder if the card will come out.
Yeah, they're not physical fouls, but
repeat behaviour.
You obviously don't get too many chances to make fouls like that.
There's nothing intentional in it. Renan would be fabulous. Great skill, but physicality would be part of his game as well. And obviously, again, as we seen a couple of minutes ago, can crack a shot as well.
Yeah. "17 minutes and 40 seconds left in this half."
Ian Byrne. Ooh, corner.
Those explosive bursts by Ian when he can play off somebody, causes teams problems.
Yeah.
Corner now. Let's see. Gabriel getting a shot. There was a great effort blocked. And two great blocks from number 10, Jose Andro da Silva Cruz.
Ian unlucky on the second shot.
This is a tense time for Pro Brazil now. They have to kind of calm the jets again. Oh, there we go. Fantastic creation. Brilliant finish by Gabriel.
Really
lay off by number 8, Gabriel Saldana. That's the power you spoke about.
Yeah. And even the best keeper in the world is probably going to struggle to put themselves in front of that one.
Yeah, in the blink of an eye now, we've gone to 4-2. Pro Brazil, just when their optimism must have been tight.
Yeah.
Now they've got to really see, can they get back in this game. They're going back
With the
to
fly
using
keeper,
Jose Andro da Silva Cruz as a fly keeper. And number 3 is Wemerson, who played quite well in the
League final.
AUL League final as well. So he's done well today as well. One positive, even if they don't really create anything now for Pro Brazil, is actually keeping a bit of constructive play might help them for sort of slowly build their way back into the match.
Yeah. Corner for them now.
Corner now. Guillermo Tardelli is on it again. Wemerson is on it now. Again, another reason why I love futsal is you can see here how the defending team, they're almost acting as one. They know that if the ball moves, they all have to move.
Yeah.
And any player who's a half second off in his concentration could undo the whole thing.
Yeah. Offset, that's where our lads in a kind of low defensive shape be the strongest in the world in it, but if one person steps or one person misjudges going in for that ball, and then everyone's out of shape. One person can lead to everyone being out of shape. And I'd probably go back to your point earlier when we talked about these kind of the brilliant individuals that we've seen over the years in the game. It's such a team sport. Between being consciously on and being always an option and looking at what the third person is doing, not just the person immediately on the ball. Huge, huge team sport, and even more so on the defensive side of the game.
Good play by Miguel here, putting pressure on Jonathan. And now Wemerson has robbed it. Wemerson,
Good
Miguel
block by Ian
combined.
Byrne.
And for people who are new to futsal, when they see somebody celebrating a block like that, we're seeing this now in Champions League or some of the South American players doing it in the Premier League, and people think it's crazy. Now it's a counter-attack. Great play by Miguel. Now this is a decision which probably would have, definitely upset Pro Brazil.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looked like a good tackle to me, but
it's a hard one to call. You always have to, especially when you're coaching, calm yourself down. It's what the ref sees from where he is, not just what.
Absolutely, he's a lot closer than we are.
It can be the angle that he's at. It might look something different,
Yeah. The point I was making when they celebrate those blocks, some people who watch football now, when they see a toe poke finish, if they haven't seen futsal, they don't understand why that's happening. When you see people celebrating a tackle, celebrating a block, you usually hear the old Premier League veteran going, "Oh, lads are celebrating a block. He's just doing his job." But they understand that those moments stop the momentum of an opponent are big. They're worth celebrating defending.
Definitely more so. I'd say it's probably kind of bled into 11-a-side from futsal, because especially in futsal when I got involved, I would question it when I was playing 11-a-side, but I never questioned it when I played futsal because
big chance, great
should have played it off. Look. Good defence now as well from Blue Magic after the counter attack. There's such big moments in the game.
Yeah, good play now. Wemerson's up again. Another corner. Let's be honest, nobody ever wanted to be a defender. So it's about time they got the chance to celebrate. The little wins. One thing maybe Pro Brazil haven't created a huge amount from their set pieces, really, have they?
and they would work on them. Like it's maybe sometimes difficulty getting lads have grown up without futsal into the sport. They might feel a bit silly getting the amount of set pieces and stuff we do. Obviously if they're playing.
Here's a big chance now. Tardelli's hit the frame of the goal. Again, the playing with the fly is actually working out well.
It is for them. They've practiced it a lot, obviously, and they're picking the right moments. They're not rushing it.
Blue Magic still win 4-2 now. 14 minutes, 10 seconds left. Here comes Ian
good big play.
Unlucky.
Unlucky.
The game is getting fairly intense now.
I can see the foul count starting to build. It's probably going to get a bit, I don't want to say wild, but I say emotions are going to be raised as the rest of the game goes on.
Just a comment on the use of the fly. The way Pro Brazil are using it with number 10, Jose André da Silva Cruz, he's playing centrally right in front of the opposition goal. And it's not normal, it's not a typical way to use the fly.
It's exceptionally brave. You'd normally be picking somebody that's along the halfway line, and typically someone they play off the wing on the side of the bench, because as you can see in the game so far, when he has to come off, he's sprinting quite a distance to try to get back on the bench and get their actual keeper on while their counter attack on. But they're managing it very well so far, so I said obviously a lot of practice has gone into it. I say as well, it's a game that really rewards bravery. You can see how well the Pro Brazil are doing from being brave in their press and the intensity of their press. Hopefully they can keep it up for the rest of the game.
Absolutely. Leonardo Mateus, the number 11, has had a big impact as a pivot in that attack for Blue Magic. Gabriel Saldana, number 8 there. Nice link-up play coming from deep. I suppose the challenge for Pro Brazil now, as we did say this earlier on, is the depth of their team. Their starting team is obviously a very strong team, and in both halves they started the two halves very well, good structure, but surely they'll tire. And then the question is, can the guys who come in reach the same level?
I said Blue Magic have a strength in depth there, and they'll keep that intensity up for the rest of the game. It's probably outside of being a brilliant team in players, they have that probably is their main strength. So, as you said, seeing how Pro Brazil go on, they're playing with a great level of intensity here in their press and their attack. Whether they can sustain it now for the rest of the game is going to be key for them. When you think about all that's happened in the half so far, and there's still 12.5 minutes left in the game.
Emerson, great play. Oh, there's that back post again.
Great save by the keeper.
Reynan denied again. Super save by Guilherme Viana de Souza Cardoso in goal. And this is I have to tip my hat to Pro Brazil. Since the fourth goal came in, they've calmed it down again, and they're creating chances. Tardelli hit the crossbar a few minutes ago. That was a fantastic save. This is a tight game still.
Corner again for Pro Brazil.
It's great to see such a fantastic crowd here today. Huge amount of effort by everybody to make this a great event. I'm sure the crowd's well entertained.
It's something that needs to be done more to the sport. As I said, building up into a game that's respected and understood as a game in its own right is massively important, because it creates other player paths, and instead the opportunities there between UEFA Futsal Champions League, or even, as I said, we've gone away as a club the last few years to play friendlies and stuff against. We went away to Austria and played their league and cup champions, and again probably the frustration out of that is seeing where the lads were in comparison to, and at the time the Austrian team got their international team the year after and all those lads went on to play. So I said building it that it becomes more of a thing here and getting more local clubs involved to make it sustainable. I have a few Spanish lads in our team. It'd be interesting. Like some of them wouldn't have never actually played out in the grass pitch or had a
Emerson's,
great chance. Or have ever even put on a pair of football boots. They've grown up their whole life just playing futsal.
Yes, and he's the head coach of Blue Magic. He told me he never played an 11-a-side football match in his life. He grew up in Serbia and Bosnia and would be closer to Miko Martic, the Croatian futsal legend and coach.
Yeah.
And he said that the opportunities in the Slavic countries for futsal were so strong that he had a full and fulfilling futsal playing career. He didn't need to try and be a football player.
We said and not last season before, we had a bit of an end-of-year trip together just as a team building thing. We went down to the Galway 5-side Salt Hill, and it was funny watching some of the Spanish lads now like figuring out what way a football boot fits on them. And I just never encountered that before, but I said a lot of them had gone their whole lives only playing futsal.
Now, Pro Brazil look like trying to freshen things up.
You can see
John Cavalcante's come in now. He hasn't played a huge amount in the game so far, but he's an energetic player. Lucas Duray at the back there. Raynon still on, obviously, is a very high fitness level. And 12, Ellison still on. These guys really will have to go to the well to keep themselves up. Great ball.
Oh, great ball. Just suck under the feet.
Great pass there.
Well done by Renan as well. That post.
Yeah, great pass there by Arcadius. Bogdaniuk almost produced another goal for number 9 Mateus Manati, and again, blink of an eye, great pass, and again another thing, another reason to love futsal when you see a player producing a pass like that.
Yeah. And even in that passage of play as well, you can kind of see, I think people have this notion about futsal, technical wise what it is, it's very physical. Different type of physicality, but it's a very physical game as well.
There's one of Gabriel's super shots.
Yeah.
And number 7, John O'Leary, said it didn't hurt.
Yeah.
Well, you tell us that.
Like your man out of the first Mighty Ducks movie here at the moment.
Yeah, here we go, Gabriel again.
Oh, side net.
Oh, side netting. The net shook, but it was the wrong side.
Yeah.
The crowd thought it was in. It was a whopper of a shot from Gabriel, but just didn't go the right side of the post.
I feel there's one or two coming for him now as they build. He's finding those pockets. Oh, great ball.
Look at this. Arcadius is
in. Great goal.
Arcadius Bogdaniuk, fantastic finish. And it's 5-2. Blue Magic leads here in the FAI Futsal Cup Final. Very composed finish.
Don't want to speak too soon, but I think we're starting to see the tired legs come into it a wee bit. Those gaps are starting to appear in the press.
So timeout now. Again, look, it's probably the right time to call this because a lot of players must be really pushing themselves to the limit and to stop this momentum building for Blue Magic.
Yeah. I said they'll probably go with the power play again, even just to hold on to possession. They've been brilliant in this half, but I do think Blue Magic have been better in possession. I think Pro Brazil are good in possession. They're good at the counter and disrupting their flow. But as the game's wearing on now, the more possession Blue Magic have, they'll pull further and further apart. So I'll be intrigued to see if they use that power play even like that to hold possession rather than risking too much with the goals.
Yeah, so we have 10 minutes and 55 seconds left of basically in play time. So that that could nearly last 20 minutes, depending on a given game. But that's a lot of concentration, a lot of making those 5-yard dashes forwards, backwards,
not losing your player.
We've had 2 fouls each. That could become an issue if teams start getting tired and make clumsy challenges. It's definitely going to be an interesting.
Even how they go to press the ball, again in 11 side, you're much more used to that kind of traditional side on press. that we're all taught from young age. Like your body position on your angle and how you go to press in futsal is so important because it dictates how the rest of your team sets up and whether you can be slightly further up the pitch or back. So if they're not bringing their concentration to all aspects of the game, that's where Blue Magic will start slipping in more and more and opening them up more and more.
Yeah. Here's so number 3, Wermerson Moutinho dos Santos. He's been a big influence today. Very calm passer, and maybe he could be the one to create an opportunity here again.
The Magic definitely look more settled in their defensive shape from the fly keeper now. They must, I say, they've probably gone through that in the changing room at half time. Kind of gone with a 2-2, which I find interesting. I find it just gives a bit more space on the wings if they can move it. I'd be a bigger fan of the 1-3, but it's each their own.
Yeah, they're possibly trying to get as many bodies around the pivot as possible.
Yeah.
Hoping maybe they can get a man out to block the cross if needs be. It's intriguing, all right. With just 4 outfield players, there's so many tactical variations.
Huge amount, yeah. It determines everybody to be on their game at all times. Even the players have to be a coach. Like they have to understand the system and what they're doing because they have to be thinking about when they're on the pitch.
Yeah,
again, which has huge implications for somebody that goes between both sports because you're assessing so much more on your 11-a-side pitch. And you feel like you have so much more time to do it when you're on an 11-a-side pitch as well.
Blue Magic are pinned in here, but don't forget this situation, empty goal. They've recovered, luckily for them. Still nobody in that goal.
Oh, well done.
And it's such a simple finish in the end. Peter Calderon gets his hat-trick.
And a clever bit of play by number 9.
It looked like Davi Lima had saved the day when he came back, but possibly should have just kicked it off the pitch. I don't know, it's hard obviously in those moments with the empty goal you cannot make a mistake, and Peter Calderon, nice calm finish, and he gets his hat-trick, which is a nice personal achievement in an FAI Futsal Cup final.
You can't be afraid of playing negative futsal either. Like I was always intrigued by, we had a guy over a couple of years ago to coach with Inter Movistar. He said he'd much rather his team knock it out for a kick in and get his whole squad behind the ball to defend than a crappy pass given in a rush moment and you're on a counter attack. But when they have the momentum of movement, so maybe after the hard work done, we should have just kicked it out.
Yeah, he had Davi Lima had worked so hard to save his team, it looked like, and then. But it was 2-on-1.
That rush of the blood to the head when you do that, though. You think you're going to run the rest of the pitch and score after saving the day.
For anyone who hasn't seen Lushin play, he was well known for his counter attacks, busting the gut to get back to save the team.
Those things didn't take too much talent to do, so that's why I focused in on them.
Whoop. You see there, the keeper was going to try and fly kick it down the pitch. With no goalkeeper in. This is the risk that you play with your fly keeper. The Blue Magic keeper had it in his hands, Cardoso, and saw the empty goal down the end of the pitch, but we saw one of the Pro Brazil players steps across him to at least disrupt that kick.
I think most keepers, if they can't be a good fly keeper, they definitely have that skill in their locker. I know it was a game we played I think it might have been against your Sean McGrover's team. Ian was playing anyway, I can't remember what team it was, but our keeper, not to mention him twice again, Robert Vaughan, came out with top goal scorer from the game because he was so good at catching it and scoring when we were playing the fly keeper. I think he got a hat-trick that day.
Couldn't have been me because I would have blotted that memory out. So here we are, look, it's playing their way out of trouble. They're going to fly keeper again. This is where we're saying that scoreline is 6-2 to Blue Magic, but it's been a much closer game than that scoreline suggests.
Yeah.
7 minutes and 51 seconds left. Blue Magic
Still plenty of time.
leading 6-2 in the FAI Futsal Cup final. Looking for their 8th time to win the FAI Futsal Cup.
Oh, defend. Oh, very good from the Blue Magic
Goalkeeping
keeper
again
again.
there. Cardoso's done a great job for Blue Magic today.
And again, as a development tool, I do think futsal has to be a sport in its own right, and be pursued as a sport in its own right. But when you have lads that can swap between the two, keepers, they're on the go constantly. Their reaction skills, their timing, their ability just comes on tenfold when they play the sport.
Yeah, and obviously Ireland is not known as one of the tallest nations in Europe.
No.
So often we've used some fantastic goalkeepers who end up playing low-level amateur, who would have been unbelievable futsal goalies.
Yeah.
Because they just didn't reach the 6'2", 6'3" to be what is expected of a professional goalkeeper. But some of the best League of Ireland goalkeepers over the years, like Barry Murphy, Brian Maher, who again, it's probably not being 6'3", 6'4", stop them going on to the next level. I'm sure would have been fantastic futsal keepers.
Yeah.
Brendan Clark, who was one of the best League of Ireland goalkeepers, still playing to this day in the league. He played in the first ever FAI Futsal Cup and was fantastic.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Again, player pathways, they're available.
For sure, yeah.
I was looking a couple of years ago, we had Nicky Colgan's brother, Sam Colgan, playing in the team. It was a different team at the time now. But again, incredible goalkeeper. And futsal suited him down to a T.
Pro Brazil now trying to calmly create a chance. There's 6 minutes, 10 seconds left. If they get one, it'll change the game.
Yeah.
Blue Magic know that they just have to be defensively minded now for the next 6 minutes.
Yeah, I said they've sorted their shape out. It's definitely more effective against this.
Here we go, Moutinho.
If they're just a bit patient, they'll
Moutinho there.
They'll nick a few goals from their defensive shape now.
Yeah, so we're talking there about Brendan Clark. He played, I think he might well have played in the first ever team that won St. Pat's in 2008. He was there. In 2009, the winners were Cork City.
Yeah.
David Myler played in that, went on to play Senior International for Ireland.
Was there a time, you always get these rumours about who was or wasn't. Was there a time where Seamus Coleman was with Sligo and James McLean at one point?
James McLean and Seamus Coleman played in their first year of the league. We had an Ulster division. They played in Letterkenny. And I always remember Derek O'Neill, the Ireland head coach, I was the assistant to him, said, there's a guy up in Donegal who's doing really well called Seamus Coleman. I think we should call him into the Ireland squad. Yeah. I said, Derek, yes, that would be nice, but I don't think we'll hang on to him for very long. And obviously 6 months later, he'd signed for Everton.
Yeah.
We also saw Sporting Fingal win it in 2010 when they had merged with the EID English and Dublin team.
Yeah. They were a very good squad. And actually, managed by Martin Pearsall. I can't remember if he had gone away with them at the time or if he was the year after.
Yeah, he was there in that era anyway, with Junior as well. Then you had EID then on their own right, 2011 they won it. And then that team became called Eden College and they won it 3 years in a row, 2012, 2013, 2014.
And for a long time they held the record of teams in Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales I think they still hold it for how far
I think they're the only ones to get through, yeah. And in fairness, they had a great batch of players, some serious, highly talented Brazilian players. Yeah. I think it was that generation that came, the first batch of Brazilians who were coming to Ireland on student visas and really interested in coming to Europe and seeing Ireland. And we were blessed, some great players during that period. Rodrigo, De Mello, Elio and Iago, Terso, so many brilliant. Anderson, who was best friends with the legendary Falcao. he played for Shamrock Rovers and then he went to the Eden college team and he was a fabulous player. Look, the players that we have now, what I've seen today, the standard is still high.
Yeah.
What we'd like is obviously to have 20 teams at this level, so that, and then hopefully you see National League clubs come back into the picture.
Oh, look, I'd be. So what we're trying to do in our club at the moment now is a youth development. And again, you get knowledge as you get more into the game. Like, there's a mental block, I think, with people sometimes getting involved in futsal because they think it's very complicated because of the tactics. But there's very basic skills that make a difference from just growing up and playing with them. That made a huge difference in the game. And even you see some of these lads, their ability to go down the wing with the ball kind of between their feet, forcing the defender either to cut in, depending on what foot he cuts in with. They might go inside, outside, or he either has to keep dropping back, and that simply brings the defensive line back really deep. So these tiny things that we maybe don't really grow up with here, unfortunately, or controlling the ball with the sole of the foot in motion.
Here we go, Ian Bourne's trying another one into an empty goal.
It get you players learning that in the next couple of years, it'd make a huge difference in terms of development sport and hopefully getting an international team back on. You see players that even came to the sport late-ish. Like, I know Ian was young at the time, but he was still in his teens when he started playing, and you see the development he's had over the years with the skills.
Yeah,
the necessary skills.
I was making the point here, if Michael Noonan and Mace Amelia can play in the League of Ireland age 16, why couldn't players in the National League underage 16, 17 up to under 20s come and experience this? Imagine what their own development will be like from being exposed to something different like this.
Yeah.
Challenge them technically and tactically and discipline, all of the things that we know are benefits of playing this game.
Yeah, huge. I can't speak highly enough of it, and the potential there.
Oh, good strike.
Deflected
just wide. This is the bit of luck Pro Brazil need now. Probably Arthur Vinicius Salgado. That was a nice shot. Took a big deflection off Gabriel. Went over. If that goes in the net, time is starting to run out. We've 3 minutes left.
Definitely increasing the amount of shots here from Pro Brazil.
Yeah, I suppose they just can't leave anything behind now. They've just got to throw everything they have at it. So after a fantastic game, Cardoso is stepping out, and Tadas Bezica is now coming in for Blue Magic in goal.
Another very good goalkeeper, and as I said earlier, had the opportunity to go away and represent the Lithuanian international futsal team there. I think it was last year.
Here we go, Ian Bourne on the one-on-one. Great play. And it's a penalty. Ian Bourne created the opportunity, and number 6, Mateus Costa Coelho, fouled in the box. Unfortunate for Pro Brazil. David Lima seems to have caught him. Alan Patchell, number 2 ref closer, has decided it's worth penalty, and now Pro Brazil are thrown on their other keeper, Vinicius Rolabilo. He's going to face a penalty as his first action, so he can make a name for himself, let's say. And he's going to stand in front of one of those Gabriel rockets that we've seen.
Not a nice way to start the game, but sure, look.
Yeah.
He'll be awake after it anyway.
Yeah. Gabriel with the penalty. Oh. Well, he went the right way, and thankfully wasn't injured.
No.
But that's enough, and he's out. How did your FAI Futsal Cup go? It was a flash.
All 4 seconds of it was amazing.
7 minutes, or 7-2 now. 2 minutes 51 seconds left on the clock. And
I'd say, as you see, you mentioned earlier, Stephen, maybe not a fair scoreline to Pro Brazil, but also not what people would think. Again, it's different in futsal.
I think Pro Brazil can be very proud, and that's not being patronising.
No.
They've put on a serious shift. And when you're playing against the team that's essentially the dominant team in any league, you do need luck. You throw everything you have at it, and Pro Brazil has certainly done that. They haven't been cautious. They haven't, just parked the bus, to use a phrase.
Yeah.
They've tried to find ways to score, trying to find ways to win the match. slight change in how they have the fly shape now.
I think they're bringing
Jose
that
Andros
keeper
playing
back.
deeper, yeah. Interesting.
I'd say they're maybe obviously concerned with getting them on and off the pitch a bit quicker.
How was that not a goal?
Incredibly unlucky.
Yeah, Tardelli set up Miguel. Is that Ian?
That was, yeah.
Yeah, Ian will be all mad. He's had three shots to an empty goal and they haven't gone in. But that was a
Incredibly
fantastic play.
unlucky,
Miguel definitely deserved a goal there. He hit both posts with one shot.
I often wonder about the physics of them.
So now we're getting to the stage where we have 1 minute 35 left on the clock. Who, Oisin, would you be selecting as man of the match?
For me, I'd say as the game's gone on, I know I spoke about him at the start, number 16, Gabriel, between his shots, but also his way that he dictates the game, and he's so important for them defensively. He cuts out attacks before it even starts. I think their tactics work a lot because of him in that position. So for me, anyway, it's hard to pick. There's been some great performances from Pro Brazil as well. I know number 3, unlucky there with the shot in and goal. It's been brilliant for them. But I'd probably settle in on Gabriel for Blue Magic.
Okay, brilliant. Number 16, Gabriel Jan Mikowski Lucas is our man of the match. And they scored 2 goals. Oh, and off the bar again. Number 12.
Sneak in just wide.
And again, the empty goal is missed. Number 12, Drelson, so unlucky.
Yeah.
Like, when you think about it, they've hit the woodwork 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
This could be 7-4 or 7-5, 7-6.
It's luck. Yeah, the scoreline is more down to luck at the moment, and they've been incredibly unlucky. They've created some very good chances.
I was just going through some of the former winners there. Blue Magic won this for the first time in 2015. And then they won it again in 2016. Then we had Real Transylvania win in 2017. Futsal from Nice won it in 2018. And then since then it's been Blue Magic all the way. 2019, 2020. In 2021 we had the pandemic which impacted on the play, and obviously Blue Magic represented Ireland in the UEFA Futsal Cup that year. And since then 22, 23, 24. Blue Magic has won again. For yourself, Oisin St. E is and the team's looking to catch them. What's the next step?
It's the futsal knowledge, I suppose, bringing more and more players in. Oh, there we go.
There we go, full-time FAI Futsal Cup winners 2025. 8 times to win it.
Oh.
Blue Magic win
Tempers playing here, unfortunately, at the end.
Against Pro Brazil Futsal. Unfortunately, now we've seen a little bit of disappointment and losing a bit of temper. But I think it'll end in good spirits.
Yeah, I think it's settling down there now. Some of the lads on both teams will actually be good groups of friends.
Yeah.
And obviously with such a high-paced game, tempers can go very quickly with it. It's part of the makeup of it as well.
Yeah, this is possibly one of the issues where in a small league where you play the same teams over and over and over again, even though you might be very friendly with people, in that competitive moment, tempers can fray. And it takes away from it a little bit, but look, at the end of the day, I don't think anything should take away from the fact that this has been a fantastic final.
Yeah.
Both teams produced very high level, super skill, super team play. Great defending, great attacking, great goalkeeping, everything that we love about futsal.
And I suppose as well, you kind of, again, maybe you don't want that to happen at the end of the game. We said a lot of lads know each other so well, but it's also so many people that have put in so much time into the league and dedicate themselves to futsal, like they care about it so much, which is why it's happening as well, unfortunately. But there's a large number of people there within Dublin putting so much time into it, and you can see it. Obviously, you can see they can care. about it. Trying to get that FAI Cup final is such an important thing to so many people.
Yeah, so just to look back on the game, Blue Magic led at half time 2-1. It was 2 great goals by Vitor Calderon, and then Davi Lima pulled one back. Then we got back to 2-2, and it looked like we were really going to kick on, but unfortunately Pro Brazil just couldn't add to that, and I suppose they didn't hang on to that 2-2 phase long enough to really to threaten Blue Magic more.
Look, I think they played with incredible intensity and bravery. They had the right tactics. I suppose, like I said, the difference here is Blue Magic probably a bit more depth in terms of keeping that intensity higher for the entire game, and they've been at their systems for the last 4 or 5 years with the same group of players. You might see 1 or 2 players in throughout the season, but it's been the same core group working on their systems of play. So over the course of the 40 minutes, it's always going to be a huge difference or a huge factor in the game. And I think as Pro Brazil started to dip, that was the difference in them.
And as we were saying earlier on, in recent years, in the UEFA Futsal Cup 2023 season, they beat Bloomsbury 5-0 from England and drew 2-2 with Nice through Kishinev. That was the closest they came to getting out of their group.
Yeah.
Very unlucky against Dukas. Last year, very close in all their games. Lost 4-2 to Forca, 3-2 to Titograd, and then beat Rangers of Andorra 5-3 in their last game.
Yeah.
In 22, they lost 8-3 to Cosmos Italian, and then 2-1 to Mimel Lukanec, but then won 10-1 against the Welsh champions, FC Cardiff. And then in 21, they were unlucky in the first 2 games. They lost 4-1 to KMF, lost 3-0 to Titograd again, and then they had a 5-2 win over CIU of Georgia. So these guys have shown that they can produce on a high level.
Yeah.
They'll go into the UEFA Futsal Cup again this year.
Yeah.
And hopefully get one step closer to being first team.
I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them.
Eden College in the first round proper.
They've been so close in so many years. I'd like to see them do that. And as I said, kind of, even though futsal's so small in Ireland, when you put them in comparison to kind of the Welsh, English, Scottish teams, like they're not far off matching that record from Eden College and going the furthest out of those countries. And they've shown year after year that they're above teams in England, Manchester, or England, Scotland, Wales as well. Now, in fairness, Manchester were over this year, and it's probably the closest I've seen. Or last season, a team pushed them, which has been brilliant, and it was very close to one of the games. So you can see it starting to push on in those countries as well. But I'd love to see if we could kind of push it on here before we lose out on it, because when the ball gets rolling in those countries with the finance behind them, they'll obviously, it won't be long in catching up.
Yeah, it's great to see the FAI President Paul Cook is here, Caroline Rattigan from the FAI, Fran Gavin from the FAI. When these people see such a high level game, hopefully that they bring that message back in-house to the FAI. Say, you know what, maybe it's a good time to start supporting it.
Yeah.
Also a word for the lads from the AUL who have ran the FAI or the AUL Futsal League for the last few years. Those guys deserve a lot of credit for stepping up and driving the game, and hopefully they feel that their efforts are worthwhile and that they can see the game grow.
Yeah. Well, I think the minimum that the game needs in the country is independent governance. I know for years the club sort of ran the league, but I do think having that independent governance is massively important, and the AUL stepped in. It was offered to a few leagues, and in fairness to AUL, they stepped in and took it on board when a lot of leagues didn't want it either as well. And for me, without that or without their intervention, it might have dipped away a few years ago. So very grateful to them and the support they've provided over the years, and especially the support they've provided without much support, coming in. It's still a small sport in the country.
The presentations are being made now. Gareth Higgins from the FAI, he's the competition director.
Our first presentation, the FAI Player of the Match. The Player of the Match for the FAI Futsal Cup Final 2025 is number 16 of Blue Magic, Gabriel Lucas.
Congratulations to Gabriel. Man of the match. Yeah, surprised, but let's be honest, he had a cracking game.
He had an unbelievable game, Like I say, it's so important how they play their style of futsal as well.
Looks a bit like Falcao, in fairness.
Wee bit.
His left foot is from the same mould.
Yeah.
Also from Blue Magic, like you can see how the club has grown. Peter, who has been there since the start, has done so much for that club.
They've taken a great advantage of, traditionally would have been the Polish club in the league, and obviously futsal is so much bigger back in Poland. They were aware of the potential, getting involved in it here, and they've really ran with that now with the sponsorships and getting players involved in such a dominance.
Yeah, and the referees being recognised there. They did a great job today. Number 1 referee, Robert Byrne. Second referee, Alan Patchell. Third referee, Ricardo Santos. And timekeeper, James Keating. As we said earlier, Robert has refereed in the European Colleges Championships, and hopefully we'll get the chance to keep on growing on the international stage. Alan has refereed UEFA competition, and obviously is well known as a National League referee. And, we said earlier on about that opportunity, and hopefully everybody who's involved in all facets of Irish football, coaches, players, referees, recognise the opportunity.
What the sport needs more than anything else is the logistics of it. We need more referees, we need more courts of an appropriate size. That's what the referees is so important to the game. As you mentioned, an awful lot of those that got involved in it the last couple of years have gone on to higher levels of refereeing as well.
Yeah, so our runners-up, Pro Brazil, getting their medals now, and again, must be really proud of how they played today. Well done to Martin and his staff, everyone in that club, the players helped make this a really cracking final.
Yeah.
It's also nice to see Sonic the Hedgehog and Stitch has turned up as well. They must be very busy.
Important figures in Irish futsal. They were missing last year's final. They were there the year before. I'm not sure what it was. There some sort of a disagreement or something? I don't know.
It's all about the money at this level.
Yeah.
Now, for the 8th time, we're going to see the winners.
Welcome to the presentation of the winners' medals at the FAI Futsal Cup. Could we please have the cup winner for 2025 come forward? Blue Magic FC!
There was a stage where Ian Byrne, I think, had about 4 runners-up medals from this particular competition, and it was only when he ended up in Blue Magic that he finally broke his luck, and can't stop winning now.
No, I said as you said there, 8. That's her 6th in a row now as well, I think. But again, it's great to see it. When somebody's given their time over to the sport. Said Ian's been there from day dot, and he's stuck it out through the highs and the lows of futsal in the country. And I said there was definitely times where it was at a bit more of a high between getting the futsal court in Ballymun and that originally at the start, but the old downing of the Celtic Tiger definitely had a hit in the sport, unfortunately.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. Sponsorship in an industry which requires investment, it's hard. And look, we just need to push on it. When you see so many children here today, those children don't have to be explained what futsal is. They don't have to be told how exciting it is. They don't have to. They've seen it. They witness it. Kids.
There's a huge demand from kids. They're aware of it. They want it. It's probably something that's worked in our favour the last couple of years. We're no hassle getting kids in to play it.
Yeah. So the cup has been handed over now to Ian Byrne, captain of Blue Magic, FAI Futsal Cup champions 2025. So that brings us to the end of today's event. Fantastic FAI Futsal Cup Final 2025. My thanks to Oisin Fogarty from St. Dita's for all your insight. Brilliant sharing your knowledge with all the people at home. I would encourage anybody who is new to futsal or who had previously had a little dip into it to go and have a look and see, can you bring this to the kids you coach, because you'll only feel the benefit of it in the long term. Thank you everybody, and see you again soon.
Thanks very much. See you now.